harder to flex like this. They see me, they wanna pick the diamonds that's on my wrist. I'm flexing harder than this. And shawty, she wanna kiss. She looking at how I flip the rolling around on my wrist. Consider this drip. It's harder to flex like this. They see me, they wanna pick the diamonds that's on my wrist. I'm flexing harder than this. And shawty, she wanna kiss. She looking at how I flip the rolling around on my wrist. Consider this drip. You see it, you really like it. I see it and probably bought it. I'm flexing, I can't deny it. I'm wildin' out cause I thought it. Moving like a machine. The money count like a beam. She looking like she want me. I take her and let her drink. See the watch, the sun was shining. I'm blinding the perfect timing. I'm right around in the phone. What shorty say I'm important. That glisten shine like the kitchen. I'm whipping in my performance. And I'm not taking no L's. Cause every day I am scoring. Bailing like I'm the plug. Baby, I am the one. And get it done. I'm living up to the sun. Letting all of my fun. Just spend it all on a bunch. I'm fresher than anyone. They dripping got me the one. It's harder to flex like this. They see me, they wanna pick the diamonds that's on my wrist. I'm flexing harder than this. And shawty, she wanna kiss. She looking at how I flip the rolling around on my wrist. Consider this drip. It's harder to flex like this. They see me, they wanna pick the diamonds that's on my wrist. I'm flexing harder than this. And shawty, she wanna kiss. She looking at how I flip the rolling around on my wrist. Consider this drip. The reason you see me flexing, the reason you see her texting, the reason you see me ballin', the one that they call me passing, reason you see me grinding, the reason you steady at it. Out in them sun was shining, no wonder you see the diamonds. I'm tripping like it's some water. I'm dripping all on your daughter. Young and making some money. They calling me Mr. Carter. Versus I steady slaughter. She know my words cause I told her. Knowing I'm not a father, but son ain't no bother. Bailing like I'm the plug. Baby, I am the one. And get it done. I'm living up to the sun. Letting all of my fun. Just spend it all on a bunch. I'm fresher than anyone. They dripping got me the one. It's harder to flex like this. They see me, they wanna pick the diamonds that's on my wrist. I'm flexing harder than this. And shawty, she wanna kiss. She looking at how I flip the rolling around on my wrist. Consider this drip. It's harder to flex like this. They see me, they wanna pick the diamonds that's on my wrist. I'm flexing harder than this. And shawty, she wanna kiss. She looking at how I flip the rolling around on my wrist. Consider this drip. Consider this drip.
This idea needs a website.
Consider
Go
this
to Wix.com.
drip. Consider this drip. Yeah, yeah.
You said you can hear, right? You're good.
Welcome.
Am I supposed to hear my
everybody.
vocals? Can you hear?
Testing. I can't hear my vocals. I can hear it a little bit, but
Hello?
Hello.
What's
Hello,
up?
Testing,
hello,
testing.
hello.
1 2 1 2.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Is
sir.
Northside Plug back 2020, baby?
Hey.
Crunch time, baby.
It is.
It's the start, but the race to the finish has already begun.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. Welcome to Northside Plug 2020 Thursday special. We are back.
We back.
How y'all feeling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Feeling well.
Feeling
well today.
fantastic.
We want to introduce ourselves
Nuts,
to the
Dan.
to the
Nuts.
new fans who haven't heard. Brothers.
All around.
Brothers all around. Dab, virtual dab us. To the people, we dabbing you up. It's all love. Dab.
Dab.
Definitely.
Oh, I like that one.
One for the people.
How about y'all say y'all names real quick? Who we got
We
working
got
with?
Justice in the house.
Woo!
We got Boss Dan.
Woo! G Money G No. Woo!
What's good, OceanOx?
Woo! Our
Yo,
special guest.
it's Kid ISO in the building.
Hey.
Kid Iso in the building. We back, baby. It's I don't know. It's a beautiful feeling being back here. We've been on
Warm
what,
today, bro. It's
2
like
week-
warm.
yeah.
It was deceptively warm today.
Yeah.
It looked cold, and I
Felt like
bundled up and I walked
spring,
outside.
bro.
And I was like, dude, this is gonna be followed by like negative
Don't
numbers
say it.
and snow. You know it's coming.
Don't
Like you
say
can't deny it.
I will deny it.
Okay, G Money.
I deny it.
Live in denial. I got 2 pairs of headphones on me right now. Okay.
Something like that, Justino.
I am not anymore. Now I'm fresh. Look at my granddad sweater. I copped this for like $5
That's a
at the
dope
thrift
sweater.
store.
Hey,
Yeah.
story.
You,
I'm
you
starting-
find some good
I'm
stuff in
starting,
the
guys.
thrift
You
store.
really can, bro.
Absolutely.
I know, right?
You really can. How was y'all your winter breaks? How do we feel in 2020?
2020.
Chill.
I'm very excited for 2020. Honestly,
I am too.
I've made a lot of resolutions for myself. I think I just overdid myself with resolutions to be like, all right, I have at least a couple of them that I can do.
True.
Like you said, I said like so many goals with like the intention. I don't know if I have the intention of doing them all. Like I hope to. Like that would be amazing. But
Yeah.
like I said, so many like things that like things I want to like do this year, just like
Yeah.
things I want to accomplish and just steps I want to take to get into a different different direction or just something else that I don't know. I'm really looking forward to because I guess like people always say it's like, oh, why do they wait for this day to give yourself a clean slate? I think it's just because of the nature of flipping the calendar and the year changing and from going to the 12th month to the first month. It's just like a natural thing to be like, all right, it's the first month, it's 1. Like that's where you start.
It forces a mass feeling of change.
Right,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? And it's like it's not just you reacting to it; it's everybody reacting to change at one time. And so I guess it's like a moment of opportunity for someone to kind of like switch gears because everybody's expected to like, okay, like either you are going to do something or you aren't going to do something. And I don't know, you get into a habit, you roll with it. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's more of a possibility for momentum. But then if I'm talking on a logistical standpoint at this,
I agree.
At this point.
And at the end of the day, it's all up to you, you know, in terms of your own life and I guess where you're trying to go, you know, like you said, it's kind of a fresh start, new energy, and it's really upon the individual to take it upon themselves to really want something bigger and better for yourself first and foremost, and then with that, you know, bringing that amongst the people and bringing that amongst, you know, collaboration. And I think, you know, as we always say, this is just the perfect example of that. You know, we're all creatives in our own way. You know, we're all dope people in our own way, but we're able to come together and to create something bigger than ourselves. You know, and something that just continuously keeps growing, man, and it's crazy.
And you know, it's just crazy that there's a day out the year that we celebrate change and new beginnings. You know what I mean? If you think about Thanksgiving, celebrating the past, Christmas, celebrating family, it's crazy that we have a day out the year where everybody, like you said, collectively come together and hey, I want a new beginning, I want to make change, and that's just a crazy phenomenon to think about. There's a single day in the new year that we just do that.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
You guys. Anyone got any resolutions they want to share? Mine, I want to read more. I want to read more books.
True. I started bro. I read 20 pages of a book this year. That's more than I read all last year.
Yeah, like
and the year before.
Shouts out to my mom, who was an English teacher for about 30 years. She always used to bug me to read and like once I got to college, I was like, she's not yelling at me. I don't have to read. And like even for like classes, I barely read. But now I'm like, I realized like damn, like I probably should start reading. So like one of my goals this year is to finish at least 5 books.
That's good, bro.
That's one of my goals. That's one of the big things, just to break a mental sweat once in a while.
Yeah.
That's one of mine.
True.
Did you find that when you took such a long break from reading that it was hard to read, bro?
I feel like at some point, yeah, like when I started reading the other day, I felt like I couldn't read as well as I used to.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like it's like anything. It's like anything you do, whether it's making music or playing sports, or it's just like you got to get back into that rhythm and just kind of like get comfortable with doing it again.
Just watch more anime, bro. With subtitles, and then you're good. I can speed read because of that, bro. I swear to God.
Real talk.
My resolution is to get more consistently in the gym. I love going to the gym, but I just don't go because I'd be so lazy. And
gotta get an accountability buddy, bro.
Yeah, so it's just like I've been trying to. I started going back this week, but you know, it's really like just getting that grind, getting the hunger back to go. Because I love.
What time are you
out.
going usually?
Usually I go like after everything, so it's usually like around 10. I usually get in there, get a workout in before like. Well, it's 24 hours where I go, so it's like I get a workout in.
Where do you
late.
go?
I go to Planet Fitness, so give me a workout in nice and late after work or after whatever, after the day is done. That way I come back home, shower, and it's get good sleep.
Do they have courts where you are?
Nah, it's not. It doesn't have courts though. That's the only bad thing about it.
But that's a good feeling though, bro. Like coming home, got your workout out the way. It just you just start the day off differently when you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went a couple days ago after work, which was like 6:30, and the place was just packed. It was like unbelievably busy.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't. There were so many machines that were just like I did like cardio for like most of the time because everything else was pretty much taken.
Yeah.
If you're going to start working out seriously, you should really. I mean, you can start January 1st, but you can really start in like February 1st after the initial wave is already given up.
Yeah.
At least, you know what I mean?
sure.
Kill the crop by half and
Yeah.
walk into a less intimidating situation.
Yeah, I guess I kind of want to get in there now at least to just kind of get like a rhythm going of like going there and coming back and like just getting in there. So then when that time finally comes in like February or March, once people aren't actually like as many people aren't there, it'll be easier for me to kind of just already know what I want to do, what machines I want to use, what blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff.
Have a total plan.
Yeah, exactly. So that's also one of mine is to get into the gym more for sure.
True.
So
I would say on a general basis for myself, not just this year but moving forward, is to really like not snooze on myself and not sleep on my potential. I feel like just the type of person I am, I'm always trying to make sure everything around me is sitchy before myself is sitchy, you know?
mm-hmm.
And it's I feel like keep that quality, but understand like it's okay to be selfish at times and be okay to like take care of yourself, you know, and to go hard and to know your worth, you know. And I feel like with that being said, like especially being out of school now a year and a half or so, I really just want to drop a lot of music this year, you know, and like let this be the first year where I'm really out here as an artist, you know, not just drop a video here, drop a little song here and there, like like, you know, like just within the past 9 days, ISO and I have been, you know, crunching out a lot of new music, a lot of things that we got planned to come out real soon, you know. So just want to get out here more and show myself, prove to myself that I can do what I've told myself I can do for so long, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking at. It's my headspace.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, just like self-care.
Yeah.
Just like being more self-aware of.
Yeah.
Just putting yourself in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel like that's like the basis of all resolutions in general. But like that's just a good mindset to have. Just be like just improve, self-improvement.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
to take that next step to becoming a better person in any asset, no matter what it is.
Cause like it sounds weird, but it can be easy sometimes to forget yourself. You know, like think about when you're like maybe in grade school or something, you're counting like everybody in the room, like you forget yourself sometimes. You know, you forget to count yourself, and you're like, what? You know. So it's just all about understanding your place in the world and understanding like what you have to offer to the world. And going back to 2020, like there's no better time to really be able to have that mindset now for everybody. You know, it's like, why not? Why can't you achieve what you feel like you can? Why can't you go out and do what it is that you want to do? Whatever, you know, whatever it is in your life. So
and I feel like it's just not just like the start of a new year. It's the start of a new decade, you know. And I feel like that's what's really got me excited.
New era,
you know, new era. It's just like we're opening up into something like untapped. This is our decade to do whatever we want with it. This is our decade to put our stamp on it and be like, hey, we made the 2020. So, you know, I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, yeah, new year. You know, I never really told myself like, oh, my New Year's resolution to do this and this, but I just been finding myself, you know, like you guys were all talking on self-care, fitness, not just physical fitness, like you said. I still getting in the gym, but mental fitness, you know, 100%. Like how Dan was talking about, he want to read 5 books, you know, self-care, that kind of thing. I just told myself in 2020, man, it's not just a new year like you guys are saying, it's a new decade, it's a new era. And if this is not, everybody tells himself every year, like, I'm gonna make a change, I'm gonna do this and this, but this was really the year where I was like, if I'm not doing it this year, to be honest, I'm probably never doing it. Yeah. If I don't get into the gym this year, if I don't tell myself I'm gonna put the music out this year, if I don't tell myself I'm gonna be just better, self-improved this year, to be honest, I'm gonna be real with myself, it's probably never gonna happen. So that pressure that I gave myself, I'm just trying to ride that wave, not to just 2021, but just forever, you know. Exactly. They say self-improvement like is a phase you go through, but I don't really look at it at that. I think it's a lifestyle change, an attitude change, and once you flip that switch, that's it, you know.
Well, you're always self-improving, you know.
Yeah.
Like you can never stop self-improving. I feel like you can be 90 years old and you're still self-improving, you know. You can be a jerk for 89 years of your life, you know, and finally figure out at 89 and a half, oh man, I've been a crappy person my whole life. I'm actually gonna take care of my grandchildren or something like that, you know, stuff like that, bro.
Facts.
Absolutely.
You know, that like it's never it's never too late to make a change and do the right thing in your life. You know?
True.
Agreed.
You know, Justino, have we heard from you, man?
Oh, I could go generally just like aligning my habits on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So like, I need to quit nicotine. It was something I let myself get hooked onto as an excuse to like wean my mom off of cigarettes, which like I kind of did, but I don't know. It's been more of a crutch for something else I need to really just kind of step away from, because like I don't know. I'm not gonna like go off and like win any like races or anything, but like I need to take care of my lungs, bro.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
True that.
Agreed.
On the topic of change, is the Tom Brady era over?
Oh
man?
no!
Damn.
He just hit him
We're
with
just
the-
going right
just
into it.
going
already.
right
Yeah, I had to go
into
for the
it.
jugular.
All right.
We need to hear from
Speaking
Dan.
of running out of time,
Man, that hurt. That hurt me. That hurt me.
it hurts me too, bro.
You know, I forgot about it. Honestly, I kind of blacked it out after like Sunday. And
And we've opened Pandora's box.
yes, Pandora's box is wide open. You just kick the door down. All right.
Dan, please try to close Pandora's box. for
Okay,
us.
so for those of you who don't know, the New England Patriots lost in the wild card round to the Tennessee Titans 20-13 last Saturday.
Yikes.
It's the first time they played in a wild card game since 2009. Every year in between those, they've gotten a bye and played in divisional round as their first game, hosting as a 1 or 2 seed. The reason that they were in the divisional round, all they needed to do week 17 was to beat the 4-11 Dolphins. They just needed to win. They just needed to beat them. They needed to beat them, and they would have had a home game, and they would haven't even have played last week, and we would be talking about them playing in the divisional round this week, and it would have been a much happier boss Dan. But here we are. So they lose to the Dolphins by letting Ryan Fitzpatrick score on a 2-minute drill at the end of the fourth quarter. Now, luckily for me, I fell asleep. That was the day I got back from Boston, and I got on my couch and I fell asleep halfway through the second half, and I woke up. It was like it was after the game, because like I saw it change, and I was like, oh, I hope they won. And I checked my phone, and I just see my phone blowing up. It's like, Dolphins win, and I'm just like, oh no. And it's like, we'll play in the wild card round next week, and I was like, oh no. So then from there, I immediately got a bad feeling in my stomach, and I was like, this is not going to be good. This doesn't sound great. That the Patriots somehow started 8-0 and ended up finishing 4-4, and then having to end up in the wild card round because they couldn't beat the 5-11 Dolphins at home. The Dolphins always give us trouble, which is besides the point. Anyway, the game happens. Very slow offensive game. I mean, Tom wasn't really doing anything spectacular. He was making some good throws. Couldn't get the running game going at all. Sony Michel stinks. And then on the other side of the ball, the Tennessee Titans just ran all over us. Derrick Henry looked like a mixture of LaDainian Tomlinson, Barry Sanders, and Emmitt Smith all into one. He had 180.
Don't forget Marshawn.
Yeah, and Marshawn, like all of them combined into one running back. He's huge. They like a radio broadcast in Spanish calls him Tractorcito, because he's just a tractor. He literally just Tractorcito. Swear to God, they call him Tractorcito. The guy just bowls over people, and that's what he did to the Patriots defense. He literally just ran right in their mouth, because the strong suit of the Patriots defense is their pass defense. They have Stephon Gilmore, who can arguably be the defensive player of the year. They have Devin McCourty, Patrick Chung, all these guys who are great in the secondary wise. So the Titans and Mike Vrabel, who was a former Patriot, was like, all right, you're gonna have that great secondary. Good, we'll just run it down your throat. And they did exactly that, and they dominated the game from pretty much from start to finish. Yep. Because they gave the Patriots one touchdown in the second. But after that, they gave up 3 points the rest of the game. It was like 10 to whatever. They stopped them on the goal line. It was 10 to 7 at this point. And the Patriots had a chance to go up 17-7. But they are first and goal on their own on the 1 yard line, and they ran the same play 3 times in a row and got stuffed. And then they ended up kicking a field goal, and the Titans made it 14-13 to end the half. And then after that touchdown, I felt really bad. That's when I hit the panic button, and I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. This is not good. And then the third quarter was just back and forth, nothing. The whole, like, most of the second half was just like nothing going on. The Patriots couldn't get anything going on their side of the ball. And then the Patriots finally got the ball with 15 seconds left. They had to go 80-something yards. And there was this little part of me, and everyone had this feeling. ISO even said he had this. You're like, Tom Brady's going to do it. Like, the man's done it before. Why can't he do it this time?
Mr. Brady.
Yeah.
And then off Benjamin Watson's hands, right into Logan Ryan's lap, and he takes it in for 6.
Pick 6.
And that officially ended the game. And that's when I started drinking really heavy. That's when I broke out the hard stuff. So,
What is your poison, Dan?
whiskey, preferably. Preferably Jameson.
Bourbon?
but-
Oh, my
preferably
boy.
Jameson.
My boy.
But I'll drink any whiskey you put in front of me or rum.
J-Mo.
I'm okay with rum too. I
Scurvy.
forget what I was
You
drinking.
won't drink Captain, will you, bro?
I'll drink Captain, but not a lot. I know you don't like Captain. So to answer Justice's original question, is this the end of the Tom Brady era? Tom Brady's already said he's coming back to play football.
Mm-hmm.
He said he isn't going to take a hometown discount, so he's going to go out and get paid. There's going to be some. He's the first time he's an unrestricted free agent in his career.
Mm-hmm.
After 20-something years, this is the first time he has
Damn.
no tie. He has.
How is that? He just signed long contract?
So the thing was, at the beginning of the season, he signed a 2-year extension that is voided at the end of the league year, which is March something. And all that did was basically give him a bigger bonus for this season.
Damn.
Because in years past, he's taken hometown discounts to for the Patriots to bring in better players, and I loved him for that. Like, he was getting paid the same amount as Mike Glennon was when Mike Glennon was a starter for the Bears. I remember posting that. That was our freshman year or something like that. I was just like, oh my god, that's so funny. But now at 43 years old, by the time next season comes around, he's gonna want to get paid big money. Will the Patriots offer it to him?
No.
I don't think who would pay him the money
Okay,
that
Chargers.
The problem is that
Yeah.
he's 43 and Tom Brady has to stay in the pocket, and the thing he did well was get the ball out quick to the receivers, to his running backs, and they ran the ball. And I just don't see a team that's just gonna be like, here, we're gonna give you a whole bunch of money, but we have a good offensive line and we have weapons for you on the outside and we have a good defense. Where are you gonna get that?
Chargers.
Okay.
They're like the one team they're the team I've heard the most out of anyone say, where would Tom go? And that's because I think they're willing to part ways with Phillip Rivers and pay Tom to be a competent quarterback who's not going to throw interceptions, because Phillip Rivers loves to throw interceptions.
Phillip Rivers just throws it to the other team as much as anybody else.
It's sidearm that he does, like a shot put.
But nah,
Here you go.
I think that would be okay, but I just don't see Tom Brady wasn't good. And to say that it was just the weapons around him is not fair, because Tom Brady was really not good a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he was awful. I just think I think this year he finally he was average.
Yeah.
He was an average quarterback.
He was an average quarterback,
and it doesn't help when your best receiving option had a broken rib and a torn ankle, and then your best option was a 38-year-old tight end, 30-year-old receiver who you traded for a second-round pick for in the middle of the season, and 2 rookie receivers.
Yeah.
It was just a really tough mix of things coming together.
And they just couldn't run the ball.
No, they couldn't run it.
They just couldn't run the ball, and
I'm done with Sony Michel. I'm over.
You know what? I can't. I'm not gonna put that on Sony Michel. I put that on the offensive line.
I do. Yeah.
I have to put that on off because I've seen Sony Michel. It's with the running back. It's when they show you how good they are, that's how good they are.
Yeah.
You have to give them a good O-line just for them to be able to run the ball. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't get the ball running.
Yeah.
And when you can't run the ball and you're an old quarterback who can't, young quarterbacks and old quarterbacks need a running game. They just do. They need a running game so you can get extra yards, and he's not throwing the ball 50 times a game. You know what I mean? And Tom was never going to throw the ball 50 times a game.
Right.
So I blame a lot of it on the offensive line, but then again, Tom also was, like you said, he was average. He wasn't good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He wasn't at the level that we've always seen him as, and that's totally fine. Like the dude's 43, the guy's 42 years old.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to go out there and throw 50 touchdown passes.
I think Belichick's really blown right now because he had Jimmy Garoppolo. And now Jimmy Garoppolo
he's so mad.
has the number one seed in the NFC,
he's so
and
mad. He's
out of the playoffs. He is blown right now for sure.
So mad because he was the one. That was how many years ago? That was like 4 or 5 years ago, or whenever we had him. But like Belichick was like, I'm ready for this guy to take over. Like let's not re-sign Brady. And the owner, Robert Kraft, was a big advocate for like, no, let's keep Tom. Let's get rid of this guy. And Bill.
Well, how
was
many
definitely
Super
not
Bowls
happy
did they
with
win
that.
in between now and then?
2,
3.
3.
So
Was it 3?
I
No,
don't know.
I think it was
2.
two.
No, 2 because Jimmy wasn't on the team for 51, was he?
No, I think.
But he was on the team for 49 when
Yeah.
they beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so 2.
It was 2. But I mean, okay, you win 2, and now if you don't re-sign Tom Brady, where is your? What do you do? What do you do
Well, it's
now?
like the Tom Brady conversation is already like stupid. You know, like it's already like he's already like blown every mantle out of the water that's been cast before him.
Yeah.
So like I don't know any other win. Like it's hard to imagine like how much higher it could go at like 3 wins, even 4 wins. You know what I mean?
The craziest thing is like in his post to say he was coming back, he said, "I still have a lot left to prove." And there was part of me I was like,
what?
No,
he doesn't.
Tom. Like Tom,
doesn't.
you've done enough, my friend.
I think.
But he's one of those guys that will never quit until he's literally like dying on his deathbed. He would play till he's 50. He'd play till he's 60 if he could.
I honestly think what's gonna happen is it's gonna be like MJ on the Wizards at the end, and that's what it's gonna look like when he goes to another team. And I don't
That's
care
very
what
true.
team it is. He's gonna be bad. He's gonna be like Brett Favre at the end. It's just it's sometimes I wish like athletes understood like, hey,
Well, give him a good old line. I mean, he can. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he has one of the highest football IQs. I mean, period.
I agree with that. It's just
even he's always been known for making those short pocket passes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's just your body at some point is just not.
Sure, he
gonna
won't be able to
it.
take those hits, but
Yeah.
that's why it'd be like exponentially more important that he be surrounded by guys who can protect him.
True. At
And
the
in
same
that event, you know what I mean, and even give him like a little bit better of a running game that they had this season. I feel like he could have a successful play on 1 or 2 more successful playoff runs. That's just the type of player and mentality that he is and that he has.
Yeah, I just don't want to see him get really hit and rocked, and then we're just like, man,
He's not gonna be
he
robbed
shouldn't
of
be.
anything unless he like dies. You know what I mean? Or,
No, I
like,
get
gets
it,
like
but
super
just-
concussed.
Man,
but
you just watch
even,
it.
Even with, I mean, like every single year, it's getting like you can't touch the quarterback anymore. You know what I mean? Like you really can't. And I get that like there's always gonna be those safety concerns, but like I'm just, and I guess I might just be playing devil's advocate, even though I brought up the initial point. But like I don't know. I was blown the last 2 times that he won a Super Bowl. Like I couldn't believe it. So
Yeah.
like at this point, even. You know, Golden State's they're the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they can bounce back. You know what I mean? It's just a couple key pieces, like whether he moves or not, like whether they make acquisitions or he goes to a team that can build a more stable system around him. I don't know. I think that could be that is a possibility.
Yeah.
All they needed was Gronk. I feel like if they had Gronk,
I couldn't agree,
if
I
they
couldn't
had-
agree with you
if
so
they
much.
had Gronk,
I agree with you so much on that point.
I would
Oh.
have the Patriots winning the Super Bowl, and it's just because
miss
Gronk is
Gronk.
that good. He was just that good. If you had
a game
Gronk,
changer.
Yeah.
He was a game changer because if he drew the double team, then Julian Edelman was on 1-on-1. If Julian Edelman drew the double team, then Gronk was on 1-on-1. That's how they worked it, and it worked perfectly. That's how we beat the Chiefs last year. So I think I agree with you. That was a big piece. And to kind of wrap this up, wrap this topic up, so we can move on from this discussion because I'm getting really angry as we continue talking about this. The Patriots need to pay him. They probably won't, but they should because they have no other options at quarterback. Are we going to make Jared Stidham our starting quarterback next year?
Dalton.
Absolutely not. No. No. I do not want Andy Dalton in a Patriots uniform. Take those words out of your mouth.
Andy Dalton.
Oh, my gosh.
Andy
What if he dyed his hair
Oh,
brown?
my
What if he dyed
gosh.
his hair brown?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm calling it right now. It's
Oh,
gonna
gosh.
be Andy Dalton.
I thought I couldn't get any worse. Okay. Please, Bill Belichick, GM/coach/genius
It's gonna be Andy
slash
Dalton.
evil emperor, Bill Belichick. I know you don't want to pay Tom, and you never pay guys maximum value. You never do. That's your mantra, and I get that.
How has he managed this
I get
all
that.
this time?
I get that. But please, just like we've preached weeks ago to Mookie Betts, pay the man. You only need to pay him for 2 more
Tell him to
years,
bring
and
me
then you
my
can.
money.
Because I know you want to. But another thing with Bill Belichick is, I think he wants to prove he can win without Brady.
That's why he'll get Andy Dalton. He gonna get Andy Dalton win the Super Bowl with that.
Oh
man.
my gosh!
New England savior, bro.
All right, well, all right. So we're done. We're done with Patriots talk.
You gonna take a little breaky break?
Until March, until the new league year starts, when we finally figure out if he's going to re-sign with the Patriots or not. But for now, thank you, Patriots. And you know what? The Super Bowl's irrelevant now. It doesn't even matter anymore.
And then we'll be back with how OKC has the best winning record since Christmas in the Western Conference and why Chris Paul almost cried when he got called old.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right
on
back.
Northside Plug.
We're on
Northside
the
Plug.
we're on the
Stay
basketball.
tuned. Northside Plug.
Football's stupid.
song. If I go and pull that top, then I bet I pull the bag. If I go and pull that bag, then I bet I'm up the sacks. Pull up in a hot drop top, ayy. Damn, I'm looking hot, ayy. Damn, I'm looking fine, ayy. I'm gonna swing on line, ayy. Put a smile on my face, ayy. Every time I see your face, ayy. You gon' let me turn you out, ayy. Show you what I'm really about, ayy. I'ma pull up in the spot, ayy. And I bet I make it hot, ayy. And she got her hands up so high, and I got her screaming, oh my. Reach for the sky, you reaching. Every day is the weekend. It's a good feeling. Damn, I got that feeling. I know you won't leave me hanging. Smoking weed out the container. OceanOx. Gonna take a shot, all drinks on me. I said drinks on me. I said I'm faded. Hey, hold up. Gonna take a shot, all drinks on me. I said drinks on me. I said I'm faded. Hey, I said don't even worry about a thing. I got you, babe. Just come with me. Don't even worry about a thing. I got you, babe, no matter what they think. I know you came with your girls and you were not that thirsty, but you came up in the club on a work day. Don't even gotta say a word. Know that it's already heard. Don't even worry about it, babe, I got you. I got you. Go all night. Oh, you're so right, babe. When you gonna be the one, babe? When you gonna be the one for me, Oh, when you gonna be the one, baby? Damn, I want your love, baby. Damn, I need your love. Is there something you're not telling me? I done ran across the world, I've been searching high and low. Is there something you're not telling me? Baby, damn, I want your love, baby. Damn, I need your love. Is there something you're not telling me? Loving you in all the wrong ways. Is there something you're not telling me? OceanOx. Baby, don't pray for my love this time. Hey, hey, hey. Baby, don't pray for my love this time. Hey, hey, hey. Baby, don't pray for my love no more. Hey, no more. Baby, I don't wanna go out 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 no more. Baby, I wanna see you hop in the Benz. 3, 4, 5, 6 of your friends. Baby, I wanna see you hop in the pool. Go and take off all your cool. Baby, I wanna see you throw it right. Go ahead, cause this the night. Baby, I wanna see you throw it back. Go ahead and make this right. Big boy in the city, and I'm really ready. Pull off in that coupe, I'm really ready. Pull off in that Rari. She just wants to have some fun, okay? I'm down to have some fun. We hopping out the Uber X, we pulled up in the valley. Woman of my dreams, see you in my nightmares. When I close my eyes to sleep, I promise that she right there. Woman of my dreams, see you in my nightmares. When I close my eyes to sleep, I promise that she right there. Baby, I don't wanna go out no more. 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 Baby, I don't wanna go out no more.
Whoa.
Woo!
That was OceanOx. Leaving us at a loss for words.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was wavy, bro.
Definitely.
You can go on with that right now, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
So yeah, man, we're back over here on Northside Plug. Make sure to call us at 312-985-7834 if you're trying to chop it up with the Northside Plug fam, trying to chop it up with OceanOx. You know, chop it up in 2020. You know, chop it up like chopped salad.
Be 2020's first call.
2020's first caller. But yeah, no, follow us on Northside Plug on Instagram, Twitter. We are NSP Chicago. Find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube where we are streaming right now. YouTube Northside Plug right now. So yeah, man. We got OceanOx in the building. It's definitely a pleasure to have you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. It's good to be here.
Definitely, bro. We've been talking about it for a while. For the people that don't know, Ocean and myself, I'm just say Ox and myself go way back. ISO 2, all from the days of Rogers Park. You feel me? hooping on the circle course, bro.
Oh shit.
Since we was youngins, man, you know.
Yeah, those dirty ass courts, bro.
Yeah,
let me not even say that.
Hey, it's you gotta start from somewhere, bro. You know, and like it was always a weird situation hooping up there, bro. But it was always, you know, we always made the best of it, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like just those circles or those courts being circle just kind of made it special in its own way, you know. in a way, you know, because it gave us our own vibe, or our own, our own space type of thing.
True.
Yeah. It's nothing like hooping on the circle court.
It's nothing like hooping out there, bro. Real talk. It's definitely an experience, you know. And so yeah, man, known Knox for a while, and he's been making music long before myself, long before I feel like ISO. So yeah, man, I'm gonna give you the floor if you want to just kind of give the people a little little insight about yourself, and obviously we can go from there.
Yeah. Like you said, man. Yeah, I've been making music, been doing it for a while. You know, just off and on, just finding the passion, losing the passion, rediscovering the passion, just through inspiration. You know, moments like this coming here tonight. You know, moments. Just I always looked at music as the reflection of the artist's life. You know, it's not always like that. It's not always perfect and beautiful like that. You know, music is just music at the end of the day. But you know, just how we came up in Rogers Park, you know, bro, just hooping, the culture, the lifestyle, just watching, what was it at the time? Like, bro, like 106 in Park, and, you know, like BET and like VH1 playing videos, like the artists that were coming back then, and just everybody wanted to be on their wave. I remember we were coming up, bro, and it was around that time, you remember in like, bro, it had to only have been like 5th, 6th grade, and Soulja Boy was coming up on SoundClick, bro. And we were all like, damn, you could just be on the internet, bro, and just drop music and shoot these little videos and just like kind of have fun. And just, I mean, he's a multi-millionaire, so I mean, you know, you can't knock it. And we all watched that. We came up from that. We watched these artists, you know, just coming up with dances, bro, them Franchise, Young Jock and all them. We watched just these boy bands coming up at the same time, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, doing all this crazy stuff. To now we have stuff like, it's still polarizing. Music is still polarizing to people like Lady Gaga and, you know, Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's got 6ix9ine on his face, you know, just all just, you know, they call it like chasing clout now or whatever. But yeah, bro. So just coming up that way, just seeing how people came up that way, and just how you could just put your music out there, really just show the world what you got. And then I remember just coming up, watching you guys start to make music, and then just rediscovering, like I said, rediscovering the passion and all that, bro. And it's moments like this, being here with Dan and Justin, that energizes moments like that. You know what I mean? It's hard to take big steps without people pushing you, and you know, being here doing stuff like this, it's just what pushes me. And that's all I really try to do, bro. I don't even, when people ask me what I'm trying to do with the music, I never even tell them, man, I'm just trying to make hot music, whatever. I tell them, bro, I'm trying to take the positive energy that I know life has to offer me, and I'm trying to redirect that. And it just so happens that I'm on FL Studio clicking in drum beats, and that's how I choose to do it. But that's really all it is, bro. Just trying to spread good energy, positivity. 2020.
Real talk. 100%. When did when did that passion really start for music for yourself?
Man, in 7th grade we had to do a video project, bro. And
at Rogers?
Yeah, bro. They were like, it was, what was that book? The Outsiders, you know, the Greasers, Pony Boy, and
Stay Golden, Pony Boy.
Stay Golden, Pony Boy. And I remember we did a video project. We had to shoot a skit, and I had to do the audio for it. And I was like, man, it'd be crazy if there was like music right here, but we couldn't. I didn't know how to like use real music. And I remember I just looked up like music programs just to try to add like, you know, just like a do in the background or whatever. Accidentally downloaded FL Studio like
that's crazy.
2 or whatever, you know what I mean? And
That's
then I was like,
crazy.
holy shit, you could just click in drum beats and just make music. I always thought you had to like find a piano player, and you know, it had to be like a room like this times 20 and all this equipment just to do anything. And I was like, man, but like I said, like how people were coming up just on FL Studio, just clicking in, bro. And then once I realized that all it was just wanting to do it, and if you could get what's in your head out onto this machine, and then people could just download it and hear it, bro. That was always crazy to me, and
That is crazy, bro.
just kept it pushing from there, bro.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question,
Yeah.
Ox?
Of course.
Is production empowerment to you?
Good question.
Yeah, man. I'm not even trying to think of yes or no. I'm trying to think of how. But
Well, I would describe it like, because I would say the same thing, but I feel like I would describe it differently. Like my pocket and how I realize that for myself in the moment, and for how it kind of like escalates and accumulates for me. But I'm interested to hear like how you kind of approach that conceptually.
with music, if you think about a piano as having so many notes and so many combinations of keys and chords you can play, some unpleasant, some pleasant. And then if you start to think about that in terms of an unlimited amount of kick drums and snare drums and synthesizers,
Yep.
that's even before we touch processing it
Yep,
or the
yep.
artwork, the visuals. It's crazy to me that there's an infinite amount of way to
You
arrange
see
things.
the infinite, man.
Yeah.
You see the you just realizing that you sit in that.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's
I
like
know
if you
exactly
sat
what
at a
you mean.
typewriter and you just free wrote, and
Yeah.
what you write is a reflection of just what's on your mind untapped.
It's crazy.
And that's how I feel about when I'm picking out snare drums. Like this snare drum just doesn't even radiate my vibe right now or whatever, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And so it is empowering because it is a way to speak, and speaking is the most powerful thing you can do. You know, not always with your voice and with words, but speaking will always be the most powerful thing. Communicating is the most powerful thing humans will ever be able to do. That's what puts us above monkeys and fishes and pineapple and fruit and stuff like that, because we can communicate.
Our ability to wonder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I ask you another question?
Of course.
How has your sound, everything that you've made up until now, how has that, describe how that has shaped your image of yourself?
Oh man.
We got the heavy hitting questions.
Yeah.
Over here in What's Up, bro.
You know, like how I said music is a reflection of self.
Right.
And if you think about thoughts being the power of reflection and the power of self, the thoughts and the thought process that I put behind my music, I used to make really like dark, more like lyrical, really like touchy subject, like life kind of music, when I was in a worse headspace, and it reflected how I felt.
Right.
But when I would listen to that, because I'm writing it, I'm reading it, I'm memorizing it, I'm performing it, I'm listening to it back, I'm mixing it, it's like hanging around yourself,
Yeah.
and you become more of yourself. So if yourself is XYZ, you're only gonna amplify that. So when I started thinking, man, you know what I want to do? I want to make more positive music. I want to make more happy music, not necessarily upbeat, but I want, at the end of the day, if somebody listen to my music, or even if I listen to my music, I don't want to work thousands of hours on something and I'm listening to it and I'm like bummed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just pushing to create positivity in the music, like I said, not necessarily in the style or in the tone, but just with the thought process behind it.
I could hear how thoughtful your decisions were.
Real talk.
with your
Yeah.
tracks. Like I could when I heard those last two tracks, I could hear I could hear all the time that I've gone through to get where you were in those tracks. I could hear those decisions, if that makes sense.
I appreciate that, man.
So how's your creative process like?
I've got to be inspired, man, and not just to write the track, but just to even get on the computer, you know. And because I think
Hell
a big
yeah.
part of it, bro, like you guys know. I mean, what we're doing right now is behind a computer, and sometimes just being like, man, okay, it's time to sit in front of the screen in this room. It's just me. It's just my thoughts for hours and hours and crafting it. It could be really.
It's daunting.
It's daunting. It's a challenge. So I don't get in the studio unless I feel it. I am at a point, like where I do feel I know how to like hit record, and I know how I'm gonna process the vocals and plug in the mic. So I don't get into the studio unless I'm feeling like, okay, I have something to say. But I listen to the music I'm working on all the time.
Right.
And unless I go like, okay, I got to get home and replace that line or rewrite this and this, I honestly don't even get on. So as far as the process goes, I leave my computer on, but I don't get on it unless I feel like I need to.
I'm the exact
have
same
to.
way.
Yeah.
I had to create my studio in my house.
Yeah.
So I could relieve the anxiety of like being able to give myself the time that I need to approach it when I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I remember when I was renting out studios, I had a couple different studios I would just rent out monthly, and like there would be times where I wouldn't go, and it would like add to my anxiety every day that I didn't go. It's like, and I'd be like losing more energy worrying about it than actually having gone there and spent all the time there.
Yeah.
But despite having to micromanage that,
Right.
so like being able to like find that moment where you can just catch it and capitalize on the opportunity. I know what you mean by just kind of just leaving it there and positioning it in a way. Like for me, I have to do it in two different like phases. I have where I'm going to start producing, and I have it out in my living, and G Money knows what I'm talking about. Where I have it out in my living area and set up to my speakers for playback. And I'll have it set up for when I'm producing a beat, or when I'm in my booth, I have to move my computer because I don't have them linked up. So I'll move it to my booth. That's where I'm just working on vocals, and like I have to strategize like, okay, what am I going to be going into the next time I actually step into this? And it's like those little thought processes that kind of like, I don't know, entangle themselves into like habitual things that we do on a regular day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? Just the way that we've gone into the craft, and the way that we angle like our thoughts to be able to maximize our efficiency when we do these things. I feel like it kind of carries over. And I feel like the theme of this year is just like how effortlessly those things can kind of transition into the rest of our lives once we start to like really hook in and solidify the things that that help make us feel like true craftsmen. You know what I mean? I don't know, I feel like adulthood would kind of like settle into the prime of our lives when we hit that 26, 27 era. You know what I mean? Because that's when we're gonna be cranking out the best all at one time, in like a 2-year span before like it's like being an athlete, really.
You get your prime. I feel like I create in spurts as well. Like it's just like it's there. Sometimes it's like I'm just doing it all the time. It's always coming, and then there's other times where it's like I'm not inspired. And if I sit down and I write something, or if I sit down and I do something, it's just not the same, you know. But when I'm in that burst, when I'm in that spurt, it's like okay, it's coming like water. It's there, you know.
Definitely.
And you freestyle, Ox?
I do not know. I do not know.
I just had to, because I was looking, I was just like, man, we have potentially 3 freestyles. Well, I know that I know at the very least that you can. Do you have like at the end of the show towards, you have like any beats you want to like throw on there and have the two of them kind of go to town on?
I might have some beats on me.
True.
I might have some beats on me.
True.
You already know.
I wanted to piggyback on what we were just talking about, bro.
My bad to interrupt.
No, it's all good. I agree with what all of you guys said, and I feel like one tool that I found that, because I mean, majority of my at this point in my life and for a while, you know, I'm when I'm not with the homies, when I'm not, you know, with family, whatever, I'm pretty much dolo. You feel me?
Right.
And it's hard, bro. Sometimes it can be really hard to motivate yourself to, like you said, like just open that computer, bro, and just and go, bro. And it's not the aspect of making the beat or whatever. It's not even, I don't know, for myself, it's not even me thinking like, oh, I have to sit at this computer for hours. It's just like getting up and going, you know. Basically, it's like when you go to work, it's like, oh, like you're fine once you get to work, but it's getting up and going to work.
Do you find that everything else you do outside of the music is contributing to the thought process behind the music in that way?
100%. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, like everything that's going on in my life is going to the music one way or another. It's just sometimes I get so deep into the thought of like I just have to almost slip there. I just have to make this music where I lose sight on, oh, maybe right now isn't the time to make music. Maybe right now is just to go out and have fun, do whatever, so that after that I can come back, whether it's at that moment after or the next day, whatever. feel rejuvenated into making the music.
Gotta
you
get
know,
that G Money release.
it's coming February. Ooh.
No pun intended.
You know, but I just have found that collaboration really helps to get my juices reflowing, you know, and like, for example, like I haven't had really a job for the past 2 months, so it's given me a lot more time to just focus on the music and link up with a lot of different people and collaborate on a lot of different music. And that's just what keeps me going, bro. You know, it's like, sure, like at this moment, like the income hasn't been coming how I want it to, but the time that I've spent within the past 2 months, like, has been incredible. And the people that I've worked with has been incredible. And like two of them, and speaking within music, you know, Justin and ISO, like what we've been working on alone within this room,
Right.
just pushes me so hard to go back into my own craft, you know, and really go hard with that. So yeah, man, collaboration.
I mean, yeah, nothing great is ever rushed, and nothing great is ever done alone.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Actually, it's funny. I was listening to the Drake interview that just came out, and he was saying something similar. He was just like, "Hey, like, don't ever feel bad because you collaborate on music. It's like that's what music is meant to be shared. Music is made to be collaborated on. Music is made to have a bunch of minds and people in the room, and we're supposed to, you know, create it together." And I feel like that's when music is just beautiful, when you're all in the room with your people, with your team, and you create, you know, and it's that's the most beautiful form of art to me.
And it all just comes down to, you know, and I feel like we've all learned this, music or not, in our lives, it's all about being around the right people, you know, and you know, and collaborating with the right people, because I don't know, you can even collaborate with the wrong people, but at the end of the day, like, you'll have music and then things are just weird, you know, because the situation is strange, you know. It's like the music could be dope, but the situation is just off at that point, and it sucks, you know. Everything just has to be clicking in order for those collaborations to really be 100%, and all parties really have to be able to see the clear vision, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely surround yourself with the wrong people. Not necessarily just
y'all could be making some dope music.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Not necessarily just bad people either, but I mean, it's like if I were to record a verse at home or make a beat at home, it would change if one of you were in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We played the 3 songs earlier, like a couple minutes ago, and had we not played those in this context, in this setting, in this room, with this combination of people, I was listening to it, and just the fact that everything was going on exactly as that, I was listening to it from a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I already was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna change that, just because in that moment I didn't feel how I thought people would feel, or I didn't connect to it the same way anymore.
Yeah.
Just because the wavelengths in the room were just different. Not in a good or a bad way, but just in a different way. So it's always inspiring to be around just people, period, you know. And like
100%.
and like Isa was saying, you can't do it alone. Music is not meant to be done alone. You know, when we go to shows, anytime you see music in any form, it's rarely just a solo performer. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. People keep saying all this, someone else produced that, someone else wrote that, or whatever, and I'm like, but the music is beautiful. So at the end of the day, what are we really talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Life of Pablo had like hundreds of people work on it.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people work on it. You know what I mean? And did it win any awards?
But it made a lot of money.
I mean, I don't know.
And he continued to make edits even after he released it.
Life of Pablo. I mean,
and try to push it off as revolutionary. It's the first album to be edited on a live streaming play. It's like, bro, shut up. You're not done with your album, you mean? Like, come on. Like, I remember I have a pirated version of when he first dropped it.
It was way
it's so much different, bro.
Because he only released it on Tidal,
Yeah, it was so different. So different. It's crazy.
You know, it's all work in progress. You know what I mean? And that's a vague cliche, but as I always say, cliches are such for a reason. And they shouldn't be ignored.
So do you think music will now be just live edited though? Do you think he was onto something?
I don't, because it's like nobody wants to like follow Kanye's coattails, and like unless they go into it, I don't think that he went into it at the beginning of Life of Pablo being like, I'm gonna be doing this on streaming platforms. He's like, okay, well, like, what can I do to like seem like I'm doing something and being unique? And it's like, it's like, does anybody listen? Has anybody even listened or downloaded Tidal in this room?
The app?
When I heard
I downloaded it. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
used
that's-
it.
yeah.
I've never used it.
The
Yeah,
only
I
time-
downloaded it and then
I got
like,
a free month and then I didn't do it.
Same, but I didn't even listen during the free month, so it was really a waste of my
Like
time.
the most at the time, the most like influential like oldie of the hip hop heads drops his own streaming. You know what I mean? Like trying to, and it kind of goes bust. You know what I mean? Like it's always just like. It's SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal, I guess. Like,
But
but nobody cares if they get their stuff on there.
And
It's
now
just like
it-
an added bonus.
I know it was like
And Google
Jay.
Play.
My point, I'm sorry, and I'll
Yeah.
my point being like everybody has like a huge bust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are that they. I'm talking to myself very much so. People live in fear of putting out content, of the fear of like actually experiencing
Rejection.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't see Jay-Z any differently because Tidal didn't pop
Yeah.
off. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But you gotta put it out.
And think of like how big of an L that would seem to the regular person. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the size of a project like that, months and just hella money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, bro. Like that's the reality. It's just
What the hell, Dan?
Sorry.
This man's trying to melt me, thinking I'm a witch or something. Is that how it works?
I don't know. I have to study up
Do
on
they
my witch.
burn like, or is it just holy water?
No, it's any water. Shouts out Wizard of Oz.
I melt
big question for Ox, bro. And I feel like the OG Rogers Park people will appreciate this, bro. Talk about Ox tape, bro. Original Ox tape, bro.
Oh man,
What? Because that was your first project.
that was my first ever project. Yeah, Oxtape was a project I put out
We
years and years ago,
We
and
used to be bumping that shit, bro.
and deleted that shit off the internet.
Ugh.
Yeah, if you can find it, let me know so I can delete it. To be honest.
We ain't telling you. He's trying to listen to that, bro.
But yeah, like you said before we started the show, man, I'm definitely one of those, not just artists, but people that if I could apply it to any other aspect of my life, I would. But if it's old, I'm probably not gonna like it anymore. If I don't like it anymore, I don't want anybody to
Do
hear
you
it.
feel like it's an evolutionary concept? Like you could at some point be like, you know what, I'm gonna drop a Nox Tape 3.
Yeah, and then when I want to do Oxtape 4, I'll delete that. You know what I mean?
Hey, that could be a smart marketing strategy. You know what I mean? Like a limited time mixtape, get it for the free for a limited time.
Yeah.
I agree with that though about not
True fans
liking-
only will cop. That's the thing though. That's the thing though. You give it to them for free for a limited time, and more people just cop just to have it. You know what I mean?
As a
There- it's-
luxury.
Exactly. I like that. Like people and just people assigning more value to themselves in general.
Yeah.
2020, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
securing our integrity as people who are consistent with things. You know, we don't want our hosts flaking out on us, so we're gonna make sure that like we secure that for ourselves. Likewise, you want to make sure that like anybody who's a true fan of yours, you give them the best pocket of opportunity to get that for the lowest price they can, which is probably, I don't know, optimally free, and then like close the doors on it, and then it becomes a novelty. You know what I
That's
mean?
That was the word I
That's
meant.
true.
I was gonna say not a luxury, a novelty.
Because if it were up to me,
100%.
anybody that wanted to hear my music, I would just go to their house and play it off my phone. You know what
Right.
I mean? And they wouldn't even have it on their phone.
Mhm.
If that was somehow feasible, that's just how I would play my music.
I mean, it's funny you say that you don't like your old music or whatever. It's like I feel the same way. It's like once you evolve, once you progress, you listen to it and you're like, wow, I would have did this different. I would have did that different. I would have not put that song on there. I would have not had that feature. I would have, and it's just like I feel you because like I had like the first tape I ever dropped. I took it off SoundCloud like a year after I dropped it, just because it was just like, man, it's just not good. You know what I mean? At least to me,
It's
not
always
to my
easier in
standards.
hindsight, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's always easier in hindsight.
But there is some truth to saying, you are your own worst critic, and
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
and you have to, and and when people ask me like, man, like why did you delete the tape? Like, I always tell them, man, I didn't like it, but people always tell me, but I did. And then in that moment, I'm like, did I rob somebody of? If my
then you can
goal
wait for
is,
Oxtape 3. You know what I mean? It's like it's a subtle thing because like the people will clearly remember it, and it's not a bad thing that you took it off, because people are going to frame it in their minds the way that they want. If they're a fan, they're going to remain a fan, and it's probably going to sound better in their memories that whether they liked it despite you not liking it or not. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like the more that you give like subtle seeds and hints, but like truly stay engaged with the fact that there are people who want to support you and want to see you evolve as a musician. I don't know. I feel like we have a unique perspective because we have just such an influx of different characters and personalities who are all doing different types of things within that community. So you see the diversity and depth of like where it goes. And when you see little interconnections of things like, oh, like these people are getting together and collabing, and like they're on at 2 different times, you know what I mean? Just like, I don't know, because the stuff that I heard, bro, like I mean it. You can go on stage now and perform that, you know what I mean? And you do that enough times, the same people who are on the same mindset as you are gonna be doing the same shows as you, trying to do the same thing. And that's when like it becomes the next tier of like wave that you can push, because like, you know, real sees real, and like the people who have those platforms for themselves next to you, it's like a steady come up. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna like take their own trajectories, but like at the end of the day, like what you're able to do, like as a producer and as an artist, because like aside, like I'm not even putting stuff out, but I don't know too many artists who like true. And G Money is doing it too, but like you started with the beats. You know what I mean? Like you crafted that first, and I feel like you've been in this environment for a little bit longer, so I don't know. It's all there and ready. I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you know, and like I was saying earlier, man, it's all about the inspiration. You know, going online, going on SoundCloud, man. I remember when G Money did his video, or when ISO dropped his tape, I was like, at the time I wasn't even on the music anymore, but just like seeing people around me, seeing people that have supported me, that I support, doing their thing, that's inspiration, you know what I mean? And that's all it ever can be. You know, you know, that's why it feels weird to me sometimes that people ask like, oh man, when is your project coming out? And I'm like, it might never come out. You know what I mean? If it's not good, it's not going to come out. Or I could just get a job and just not want to make music anymore. But seeing you guys do your thing, and then being here, Dan and Justin, watching you guys do your thing, you know, that's stuff that I live for. You know, the little moments of inspiration that I could take and manifest, you know, because when this tape comes out, when this tape comes out and I listen to it back, I'm gonna be like, man, I remember when I changed that line and redid this beat because I played it at Q4 Radio and I wasn't feeling it anymore, and the perspective of having people around me just changed it. And you know, and that's, I only make music to remember moments. And if I don't want to remember that moment anymore, that's when I start not feeling the music, I guess, is why I delete so much of my old stuff. But that's all it is, man. It's just taking and giving, taking inspiration, and hopefully giving some out, you know?
Yeah, I think that's super interesting. I just, because up until this very moment, I'm like, we do a lot of the very same things, you know, in terms of like how we craft, like, because I started with the beats, you know. Personally, I like to sit in my sadness. I don't know why. I've just always been like that. Like, I like to revisit just sad shit. Yeah. I do. I don't know why. It's just like the drama of it for some reason just like feels deep to me, and it just like, I don't know, somehow seems meaningful. So I don't know, like revisiting that for me, it's always been like, okay, how can I like push this for something that's like mine but relatable, and like I feel like with you, at least from what I've heard from your newest stuff so far, which by the way, what is the time frame for how you produced and recorded these most recent ones?
Like, how long have they taken me?
Well, yeah, like from when did you start making them, and then like when did you finish making them?
Some of those beats I've had for a year plus.
Yeah.
And only brought them back out because I was like, you know, I'm gonna replace my hard drive. Let me make sure I'm not putting stuff away that, to be honest, I'm never gonna revisit, because I'm not gonna go get it, plug it in and all that. Let me make sure I'm not missing out on anything I've done in the past. And then I would just hear the beat and be like, man, you know, like back then it wasn't that good, but the way music has changed, the way I've thought about the music now, if I just
there's a place
clean
for
this up.
everything.
Yeah,
you know, what I mean?
yeah.
There truly is. I was talking to my friend Luis out here. I'm going to, and I don't release anything. I just work with people who release that and do their own. Like, I'm very like community oriented, but
Yeah.
because I started sending out beats I've made like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting sent to California to talk with Sony about acquiring the rights to the songs that I made from that. You know what I mean? It's just like, because I, in that time, you know, didn't know what to do with it, but held on to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It became something 2 years later. You know what I mean? I remember 2 years ago when all I wanted was everything that I have right now.
Yeah.
Woo! So like, and now it's like revisiting those pockets of like, okay, I have to, like, I can't not be grateful in this moment right now.
Right.
And I don't know, it helps me what is it? It helps me mold my self image, I guess, to help sustain me for the next step for how I have to like tender that. You know what I mean? Any sort of like new tier of like notoriety or attention you get, you have to prepare yourself for like how your personal image and how the perception of your image on the outside has to like coincide. So I don't know, I feel like, but that's what everybody fears, you know what I mean? Like they're afraid of failing, but they're also afraid of like how they will handle any sort of success.
Exactly.
And I don't know, that's what's most interesting, because you have all creative control. As someone who creates everything from the ground up, you have total creative control right now to shape that however you want. And once people latch on to a certain something, you know what I mean, that's when you feel like you have to like, you know, cater to the fans for what you want. But right now, like you are in a spot where you could probably make whatever type of music you want, you know what I mean, and get into whatever niche that someone would like, whatever community would kind of hook into whatever image that might be, you know what I mean. 6ix9ine, he might have had a whole other image, but like he didn't have all that, and he might have been trying to go for a whole other image up until that point where they just said, just throw some tats on you and just be absurd.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know,
and it's crazy that we sit here talk about, you know, finding stuff up from a year or two ago. And I guess it's powerful to think about, just because going back to what G Money was saying at the top of the show, you can't sleep on yourself.
No.
You know, you can't. You never know in the moment if something you did was just not, I don't want to say beyond its time, because none of us are like, well, we could be, but none of us are Picasso. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you never know when even an act that you do in the moment will echo so far into the future that to not appreciate that in that moment would be to just waste the moment, you know?
Yeah. Right. There's so many times where I'm just not feeling a beat. I remember I used to just like hit Control N, you know what I mean? Just so often I'd be like, I'm just not feeling this. It's like, well, just like save it for now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like anytime when I'm looking for inspiration and I can't come up with anything, it's like, okay, well, let's whip something else. Before I would just can it. You know what I mean? It's like, great, I have probably 20 WIP labeled tracks that I could go back to, but it's like, I don't know, I want to give myself reasons for thanking past versions of myself.
Yeah.
It's deep.
I don't know. I've been really deep into the concept of like the character Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen, and how he describes his perception of time, of like existing in the present, in the past, and in the future all at one, and like realizing that in the moment, like all it's you know, clearly fictitious because he's, you know, a superhero, like an anomalous superhero, but it's super applicable to how we need to, I don't know, what's best for us to move into the future is considering all things at once and allowing us to feel it without, I don't know, without feeling like there's anything more to it than just like what it is. I guess, for as vague as that sounds, but I think you know what I mean.
I get what you're saying, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, seizing the moment, every moment that you have. Because I'm a big like get ahead of myself type of person. like not wanting to. It just naturally happens. I'm always thinking about the next move. I'm always trying to stay 2, 3, 5 steps ahead, you know. And I realized, like, at certain points in my life, I regretted that, and I had to change that about myself, or kind of alter, or not even alter it, but be aware of it, because there'd just be certain times where I'd look back on a moment and I'd be like, damn, bro, had I just enjoyed that moment rather than trying to get onto the next thing, I wouldn't feel how I feel right now.
But and I've sat in that moment, that exact moment, so many times, and I've done that through moments that have surprised. I've felt that way, but then also experienced the opposite while feeling that way, and then realized that I would have not gotten to that place had I not spent all that time sulking in that place. In realizing that, I figured out how to experience the duality of it. You know what I mean? It's not just a polar thing. It's not just happy. It's not just sadness, but knowing how to, like, the gray line in between, and like the, I don't know, the power in that, like harnessing the power in that in the creation of music, or just realizing like the magnificence of, like, I don't know, understanding yourself more as we go through this life.
Well, the ultimate, I don't mean to cut you off, just this one thing I want to say, like, the ultimate power I feel like you can find within the universe, if you want to, you know, get to that extreme, is balance, bro. And this is coming from a Libra, you feel me? Like, I've felt so many times imbalanced, and, you know, and it just really throws me off, you know, and you can't get too high on the highs, you can't get too low on the lows, you know. When you're in those lows, you gotta, like Justin's saying, you gotta appreciate that moment of being in the low. And, like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't say, because, like, I go through depression and stuff, bro, and it's just like, I don't, even when you were saying, like, I like to soak in that moment of sadness, I tried to put myself in that place for a second, and I sunk, bro. Like sitting here right now, for just one moment, I sunk, G, and I had to catch myself back, you know. And like, in terms of my creativity, like, my best works and my best crafts have always been when I'm in a depressive state, or I'm feeling some type of way, whether it's high, whether it's low, whatever, you know. But I don't know, spiraling back to it, it's, you just got to catch yourself in that moment. And I was reading a book, I forgot what the book was, but the author, you may know him, bro, low key. He's a Vietnamese author. His name is forgot his name.
Oh, he stole my name.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna tell you, bro. The book is really good. That's the book I've read 20 pages of, 30 actually. But regardless,
Look at you, man.
Bro, come back after you finish the
step. I'm gonna finish that book. I 100%. Like, it's really intriguing. Regardless, yeah, bro. Like, it's just something it was saying in the book, and I truly believe too, is like, time is moving in a spiral almost. You know, it's like, it's a loop. We're in a loop. And time is kind of, in a way, linear, but within that mix of it, it's going in a spiral, bro.
It's like a toroid. It's like, I see it as like the same way I describe how emotions work, how vibes work. It's all toroidal.
Yeah.
If you look at the way that, like, an apple grows, it grows out, like, outwards of itself and then back into itself. You know what I mean? The way that we project things, and the same thing goes with, like, how we feel about the way that we perceive time. You know what I mean? Like, future, present, or future, past, present. You know what I mean? How you can harness both those things, like, because it's weird. When I was being treated for depression, like, I took a medication that was supposed to help, you know, stabilize my depression, not realizing that it was also a subscription for anxiety as well. And I didn't go in because
it was a prescription for
anxiety as well. And I didn't realize that I'd prepared myself for dealing with the after effects of going off it cold turkey, dealing with the depressive, like, thoughts of it. But, like, not realizing that I had to deal with anxiety at the same time. Like I literally had forgotten about it, and I had to learn how to like re-feel it again and learn how to deal with feeling it again.
It's a hell of a mix, bro.
It's just like, well, it's like that's what antidepressants does. It's like the way that you go into it on a perspective, like it takes those things away, and then like you get to settle into just not feeling those things. And then like my point being, like the fact that I had not even considered the things that used to make me stressed about the future, like it helped me realize that the importance of needing to consider both at the same time, so that I can have solace in the moment now.
Sure.
And so I guess my point of like the toroid, like it's an essential thing, you know what I mean? Like that it needs to grow outwards in both directions in order to return back to itself and grow outward. You know what I mean?
And speaking on that, bro, to bring it back to Ox, bro, I think it's crazy because with how you were saying in terms of your inspirations, bro, right? I'm talking about, bro, like we used to just like, as we were really starting to build on this music, bro, we just be like playing your music, bro, and we'd be like, damn, like Ox got it, he's doing it, you know. I remember
with the Bluetooth radio I put up on the
we'd be bumping it
in the dorm room, bro. We'd be bumping that. We be bumping that all the time, bro. I swear to God.
We were bumping that, bro, and it was inspiration because it was like we're literally just starting.
I remember being like, bro. I remember personally trying to chase that because I was working on my beach. Like I want to be able to do both.
Exactly.
You know, I want to make all my stuff from the ground up, and that was the thing that helped me propel myself to be able to do that now.
Exactly.
Wait, were you there that night?
In his room?
Yeah, and then we ended up going out
Uh-huh.
to the fucking like beach or whatever. I thought I was gonna fall off that ledge.
Yeah.
It's hard to say
Yep.
when because it was just such like an ambiguous time.
No, sophomore year.
You had a keyboard.
Yeah, sophomore year when we all linked up. I brought my whole set, bro.
This is at my crib.
I brought my speakers in a suitcase.
I mean, I remember.
And
damn.
then we all rolled.
Yeah,
and then we
bro.
all played each other's. We all rolled up and just like, hey, what up? Let's play each other's stuff. And then I don't know. We tried to like. I think I made that one. I made a beat on the spot that like Shrey and y'all had used for a while. It was some like it was some like techno electronic trap beat, whatever. But I remember that night.
That's
is
crazy.
What I'm saying.
That's crazy. But yeah, just how you guys are speaking on like just the music and in the moment. You know, it's crazy to me. It's crazy for me to think about if you accept that we're only living in a moment and that the past and the past and the future are not necessarily real.
Yeah.
You can't relive the past and you can't live in the future. That's why they say if you worry about the past, you're gonna get depressed, and if you worry about the future, you're gonna get anxious. But the only thing that we can leave behind is art, architecture, music.
Yep.
So that's why it's always interesting to me to think about music as like a time capsule. Like when you release Nostalgic Summer, and then how you're talking about you experience lows and highs when you make the music. That's always interesting to me. That's what we leave behind is how we were feeling. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
We don't leave behind like gifts or treasures necessarily for the future. We just leave behind a capsule of how we all felt as a person, as a community, as a country, as the world at that time. You know,
it's those different stages, like just at least within the example of you and I, bro. Like you helped to influence me to even start making music and to realize like it's possible within my neighborhood. Somebody in my own neighborhood, like it was like
I remember those combos.
You know, like the first person that really made it real, I feel like up north in general, bro, was Pappy, bro. You feel me? Young Pappy. And Young Pappy was rest in peace, you know, Young Pappy doing his thing, bro. And it was like, damn, like somebody from up north can pop off, bro. Yeah. You know, it was Pappy, and then the next one was
it went southwest north.
Yeah, it was Devin, bro. Mulatto
Beats, man.
Mulatto, shout out Mulatto Beats,
boy.
That
boy
came up. He's still going strong, bro.
I remember that. Yeah,
you know, he's still going strong, doing his thing.
Dude, I remember the conversations about the trajectory of all of the players in Hurt Everybody, bro, and the disbanding of Hurt Everybody, and now all the references back after Supa's whole. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's crazy returning to that and that little nuance. You know what I mean? Like we all I just know Mulatto is Mulatto, but just the fact that like he represented like. I don't know, just like being a landmark for a certain place, a certain time. You know what
To
I mean?
literally be like,
You can
you went to
forget
school
what
with him,
people
right?
say. You
Yeah,
can forget
yeah.
what people
He went to
did,
school
but you'll
and-
never forget how they made you feel.
Exactly. You know, like I play soccer with the man, bro. So to just be able to have a personal connection with these people and to see that they're doing the things that you are growing to aspire to want to do, and then then it was we for myself was the closest one, because it was like we're actually like homies. Not like Dev and I were cool, but we were never like kicking it type of thing. We just played soccer, It was like we meet up, play hoop, It was like this is somebody that's right here, bro.
Yeah.
Doing what I'm trying to do, doing what we're trying to do, and then moving forward, being interesting that. On the topic of feelings and like you were at a place where, things I guess musically weren't clicking for yourself, and, myself, Stray, we were, releasing the music that we were putting out and whatnot, ISO putting out Nostalgic Summer for us to be at a point after you, if you want to say, but to be at that point and to help influence you to get back to want to be making your craft. I just think it's crazy, it's absolutely crazy. And for all to spiral, to loop, whatever, to right back here, at the end of the day, we're right here, right now.
I remember just seeing, like, I remember relinking with G Money, and I remember just being like, he was just like, yo, like, we got Ox, we got all these people coming up. We finna come up next, and I remember that. I remember we was just like, yo, it's our time now. Like they got their thing going on, but we about to continue this wave. And I remember just from there, it was just like, okay, we gonna really do something serious with this. And just like from there, like first like relinking with G Money, reconnecting on this music stuff, and then just to now, it's just like it came full circle. We were just talking about this yesterday. It's like, yo, like we came a long way from what we started, you know what I mean? And it's just like you can hear it, you know what I mean? You can hear it in
100%.
everything that we're doing. We came such a long way from that, and like it's just crazy. It all came full circle,
Yeah, 100%, man. So
I'm gonna throw on some beats.
100%. Just want to say, Ox, thank you, bro. You feel me?
sir.
And it's just like
Thank you.
It's love, bro.
Thank you.
It's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
Justin. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank
You
you.
know. So on a
Yes, sir.
realistic basis, bro, what can we expect from JDocs 2020? Obviously moving forward, but what do you feel? It can be musically, it can not be musically. What do you? And obviously you don't have to go into too many details.
It's
but what you got
January.
cooking up? It's
What is
January,
it? It's
bro.
January 9th.
Early January.
Fresh in the new year.
Got 300 days, 330 days, 340 days.
Chapter 9 of Chapter 365.
By the end of March, it'll be finished.
The tape.
Yeah, it's 9 tracks. The 3 you guys heard are the most fleshed out.
Okay.
This being here, man, it's been inspiring, man. For real. I don't make music unless I feel good.
Yeah.
I used to, like you said, I used to not make music unless I felt down.
Yeah.
But now I don't make music unless I feel good.
Yeah.
I don't make music unless I feel inspired. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm around inspiration right now. I mean, what you guys are doing here, this is not like a joke. You know what I mean? Like we're not in somebody's living room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know you guys been doing this for a minute. You guys are like OGs to the game. But me coming in here, seeing this setup for the first time, I know you had talked to me about it many times, and like I never like doubted you or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's always different to talk and to be in the moment. And this moment, bro, inspired me. And if I fall off after this, if I go home tonight and I don't work on the music, if I don't drop the project by late March, then this was all for nothing, and I don't take these moments for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, man.
Of course. No, I appreciate you
that.
and
Yeah.
appreciate you believing in it at the end of the day, believing in what we're trying to do, even if having faith in myself and in all of us, that's all it was really at the end of the day. Like you didn't really know what you're getting yourself into. It's just a matter of, like I said, there's nothing to lose,
For real.
and that's the thing, bro. And just, I don't know, kind of on some behind the scenes thing. I won't, go into too much detail. It's just, we've been talking a lot, and we're going back on the topic of knowing your worth. It's like we know what we've been building, we know what we're trying to do, we see the vision and everything, and it's just, as time keeps growing and things keep going on, not just here but just in general, like when you're working so hard and you're working pretty consistently on what you're trying to do, it gets to a certain point where you're like, I know what I'm trying to build. Like, I'm not going to shortchange myself. I'm not going to shortchange my peoples, you know, because we've been working too long. We've been staying motivated too long. We've been motivating each other for too long. We've been down with each other for too long. You feel me? Like, it gets to a point where you got to just say F it, bro, and just do, you know?
Yeah, put in that work, man.
Hell yeah. So what you're saying is you're not mad I accidentally blocked you on Instagram?
Man, this boy. Did y'all hear this man tried to block me?
I don't
on
know what
Instagram,
happened,
bro.
man. I must have been asleep. I don't know what
Bro,
I
gee, I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm over here, like, what's it called? We promoting the Northside plug page and everything. I'm like, all right, bet.
I was like, G Money just don't have an Instagram, I guess.
Ox, and then I go on my page and I'm like, all right, I'm finna share the post. I'm trying to tag you in. I'm like, what the? I just saw your stuff, bro.
I guess what I say is if I blocked you intentionally or if I had some ill will towards that, I know we just laughing about it, but if I had blocked you intentionally, I would have never pulled up my phone and been like, I can't find you.
Yeah,
you know
I don't. Either way, one way or another, bro. Like, I don't take anything of that matter.
It's all
like,
jokes.
Yeah, exactly. You feel me? It's just like, it is what it is at the end of the day. You gotta know yourself, dog. You gotta love yourself. And
2020.
Exactly, bro.
Well, I'm gonna throw it back to 2012, 2014 on that Bibby and G Herbo stuff right now.
You on these beats? Kid ISO, G Money, G Note. You wanna start off, bro?
You gonna start off, my boy.
You wild.
Hey,
Shout out to Bibby because that is my bro. Shout out to Bibby, I ain't taking your flow. Hey, I'm on my flow, my Gino flow. Yeah, here I go, I'm on the road. I'ma keep it roll tight. Shawty love me, yeah, she love that. Might slur a little bit, but I get back. I'ma show y'all I don't never sit back. I don't like to relax, but I do, cause I gotta rejuvenate. How about you? Gotta make this music, love my tunes. You can peep peace on iTunes, even on Spotify. Yeah, I am the guy, they don't understand that I see the vision clear, and I listen with my ears. I'm here right now with my guys, yeah, and we ain't even high, but we at an all-time high. When the blows come just hot, just keep doing till you die. I promise I won't die, cause my name gon' stay alive. I'm just throwing on for the rap, yeah. ISO by my side, we working on the tape, yeah. Hey,
man, I'm ballin' so hard. Every time I'm on the court, man, I'm going so hard. I'm taking this shit too far. I'm taking this too far. Every time I come through, you know I always got bars, and then they always so hard. Hey, trying to get these cars, spaceship and cars. I'm out of space flows, man, I'm out in the stars. And I'm taking your girl far.
Hey.
took her in my car. Yeah, we riding around, shorty. Yeah, you know who I are. Shorty love my bars, she love my beats too. Shorty wanna start rapping, I told her it ain't free, boo, unless you showing that love, cause I'm all about that love. Yeah, shorty, she rocking with the plug. G Money, he smoking on nugs, big as a whale. And if I fail, you won't get the details, cause my ship done sail. And shout out to Gail, cause she my godmother. Shout out to my mother, I smother her with love. Yeah, I feel like plug. Yeah, we the ones. Do while we young. Do while we young. Yeah, do while we young.
I'ma do it while we young.
Do while we young.
Live forever. I'ma do it while I'm young.
Do while we young.
Hey, keep my name off your tongue.
Keep it off your tongue.
But I'ma keep it when I'm gone. Hey,
Keep it when I'm gone.
man, I'm taking the crown. Yo, and I'm pouring up crown. In this apple, got the crown in this apple. Every time I mix it with another snapple. Hey, why you tripping on game? Man, why you playing?
Yeah. I'm waiting for this Boss Dan freestyle, bro.
The Boss Dan. The Boss Dan.
First freestyle 2020.
Boss Dan, you spit them bars.
Not yet. Maybe later. Maybe sometime in 2020 you'll get me on these bars.
Maybe sometime in 2020 we Henny, and he gon' be spitting plenty. Yeah, dang, been spitting plenty off the Henny. And yeah, just pulled a girl named Jenny. Just pulled a girl named Jenny. Cause Dan off the Henny got out plenty. Yeah, I'm tryna get pennies, tryna stack these riches. Yeah, I really love these women. Shawty, yeah, I dig it. Yeah, I'm raw out there. Yeah, I'm messing up, but I fall back. Make money, yeah, I call that home. Even if it's not hot, then I'm gon' make it hot. But I'm gon' make it pop, gon' rock with my crew. Living my life, yeah, and I'm up in the stool. I be hating when I'm blue, but I'm feeling so blue. I saw what it is, what it is.
Hold up. Wait.
What it is, what it is.
I beat it out like UFC.
UFC.
I beat it out like UFC.
UFC, UFC.
I'm that guy you can see.
You can see, you can see.
No, you can't smoke my way.
Show my way.
Man, I
that
beat
now.
it out like UFC.
Cause it's legal.
Yeah, like UFC.
It's legal.
Babe, you can't smoke my weed.
Smoke my weed, smoke my tree.
I always gotta leave. Yeah, one night and then I'll leave.
One night and I'll leave.
I be dipping and I feel it deep.
Ox, you got anything you want to play?
I wanna rap on an Ox beat.
I wanna kill him.
You need a dongle, bro?
A dongle.
Oh, he's in need of a dongle, dude. Ox need a dongle, dude.
I don't got a dongle.
You might have to send through email, G. Whoa. In the meantime, we gonna rap. Yeah. I've been feeling in my zone, better get out of my way, cause I'm straight up in your dome. This is Gino 2020, yeah, hit me on my phone. If you tryna rap on couple beats, yeah, I'll do the low. Yeah, I'm tryna get on crazy, yeah, bet I've been on gold. This is gold mode, this the go up in my soul. Hey, straight from the pole, I don't even have no pole. If I get a pole, I'm just scared that I might blow, cause I'm too influential. I've been with my guys too long. People hating on me cause my mind is just way too strong. Had to get through college, had to up all my knowledge. I've been trying to pull it down like porridge, shorty, see I've got it, ayy. I'm never stopping, never will, yeah, I got this will. I put my real ones in my will, when I write my will. And I got this instilled, yeah, I am not popping pills. Shout out Juice WRLD cause he died, but you know that we he got. Oh, I slur my words, but shout out my guy. Ayy, we just sad that it went out this way. We just sad that it went out this way. Live it up because I might die today. Yeah, I'm with my guys today. Yeah, I'm getting high today. I live my life today. No, I don't got regrets today. I live my life my way. Shout out ISO, that's my game.
You get no respect.
No respect.
In search of a check.
In a check.
If you touch me, catch this tech.
This is tech.
And that's just on the facts.
On the facts.
Yeah. Trying to source Rex.
Right.
Man, I tear it out like Rex.
Like Rex.
Always in the flesh.
In the flesh.
Out of body in the check.
Hey, hey.
Out of body with the check.
With the check.
Money coming crazy in the tech.
With the tech. With the tech, hey, yeah, with the tech, hey, yeah, I got the tech. You could call me technology. I don't care about your apologies. You sorry to me, Oh, that beat's raw.
That beat was.
That was you. That was you, bro.
Yep.
That was
That
hard,
was sick.
bro.
Ooh, it's an Ox beat.
Ooh-wee. You wanna start this one, bro?
I'll start it.
Go ahead. All harmonized.
Yeah, I'm in the zone. Hey, and I'm not going home. Yeah, I'm bottled like KD. 5 is on me. Man, I wrote it and I took it home. Flights taking off, I going on. Hey, man, I'm not really on my left. Man, y'all numbers is not bad. Hey, and I'm smoking lettuce death. Devil's lettuce got me trapped. And I'm troubled in my mind. And I think about you all the time. And I'm always on the grind. Money signs is a sign. Money signs is a sign. And I got it just sublime.
So sublime, it's so sublime. Got these rhymes all the time, yeah. Don't sleep on myself, no nine, nah. I don't got no bedtime. I ain't even in my prime. Moving like I'm in this time. Yeah, I'm with the tribe. All the like 625, 773 when I rap. They don't understand what I've been through. That's why most of them left. I be on to the next. Most of the time feel like the best. I've been here on my quest. Shout out my boy John Quest.
Hey.
You know I feel so crazy. I just do this every day. Never chillin' with no lanes. I ain't never playing no games. I ain't in this for the fame. Everything I do been trained. Everything I do been made. Everything I do go bang. Ay, 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 ay. Everything I do go bang. Yeah, I be coolin' with Ox. Yeah, I got the South with Shout out to Mike on the text. Shout out to Mike on the text. Shout out to Mike, we flex. Shout out on the mic, we the best.
Yo, bless the beat, man. Thank you.
That was sick.
Bless
you,
you,
bro.
man.
That was sick.
Yeah, that's
Alright, go that one.
We got another one. We got another one. Hey, shout out Mike texting as we freestyling right now, bro. We got another one.
Alright, let's pull this one.
Let me sing for you while we wait.
Please don't.
Ooh, this is Justino.
Yep.
Justino Cucino.
Whoa. This is the end. This is the end. Yeah, this is the end. I don't pretend. Message is sent. Baby girl, say that my message is bent. Hey, yeah, I'm here with my friends. Hey, well, I cannot tell my friends from my enemies. I remember the things that they did to me. I remember being left. I remember being red on left. Meant to be said left on red. Hey, yeah, my eyes was red. Mama, I remember things she said. She was like, better get your grades up. Yeah, I got my A's up. Shorty see that I got my blaze up. Yeah, I go so dark. Get ahead of myself half the time. Using that halftime ghost beat, they can see that every beat that I make is fire. I don't even care if I'm tired. I just know that I inspire. Everything I do, I aspire to be the greatest. Yeah, no time for waiting. Got my moment, I'ma take it. Got my moment, I won't fake it. Got my moment, won't flop it. Yeah, they see I'ma lob it. Yeah, I'ma cop it. Hey, yeah, I'm never gonna drop it. Baby's gonna see what I'm doing, I'm locked in. I'ma go pass this off. Yeah, this got me teed off.
Yo, this is the end. I'm getting bent. And I got your wrist. And I got your rent. And it's all on my wrist. Every time you see me, I got this. I got the money. You are a fish. I am on top. And you're not the and you're not the hey, I got the list. And you're not on it, my boy. You got the and you got the hit. And I got the hit. Came to this. This is the end. And I'm getting bent. This bone getting hit. This bottle get sipped.
Whoa.
You know how it is.
Hey, bone getting ripped. Hey, and I'm looking ripped. Even though I'm so skinny. Oh, I'm winning. Yeah, I'm in it. I'm just here. I'm balling on ends. Hey, yeah, I'm out. I'm pitching. They can see that I ain't never quitting. I'ma go. Yeah, I'ma go get a no quitter like I'm Wayne. Hey, shout out to T-Pain. Yeah, shout out to my guys that's gang. Yeah, we ain't in sort of fame like I said before. Yeah, wow. I don't wanna repeat myself. Think about my mama's health. I don't ever show my tail. I don't ever show my hand. I don't ever flop my hand. Round here with my mans. Like the Hoover Dam. Breaking through that. I get too ahead of myself.
Justice.
I get way too
Young
ahead of myself.
Socks. Go ahead. ISO. Hey.
My name ISO. And I go so hard that I go so hard. My name ISO. And I just free. Get on the beat. And kill that beat. 991, what's your emergency? I just killed another one. along. Every day I'm going. This is sing along. My versus go crazy. You know it go on. Sport.
This is my sport.
This is my sport.
Got my ball in my luggage. They can see I'm ballin', no bugging. I don't care what you talking, what you dugging. Yeah, I'm living in the dungeon.
Woo.
They don't understand, I'm running. Keep it all fast, I'm going, gunning. Hey, yeah. Like I'm MGK. I don't care what you say. Shout out the DILLMK. Yeah, let me know. I don't ever fold. Spin my soul. Most of these rappers they stole, they bars. Hey, no food or drinks on the table. Get your drink off my table, cause you gon' leave a ring mark. And I only got ring marks on my fingers. They can see that I got big fingers, long fingers, piano fingers. Play my mega. Yeah. Justino on that broadcast. Got the weather deep, this that forecast. Shawty seeing that I break it down like cast. Ay. Alright. Last freestyle.
It's like some Kessa-ish.
Yeah. Kesha. Me.
It's Kesha.
2008. It's Kesha. TikTok.
Kesha on the boy.
Hey, Kesha, and I'm rapping on this beat. Yeah, I'm Kesha. I
just gave you the wrong idea, didn't
I? My name's Kesha. Please don't sue me. My name's Kesha. I love you, baby. Hey, we gon' get copyrighted, but I don't care, cause Kesha, I like it. Please don't copyright me. If you write me, I don't want it to be a legal form. Please don't sue me. It's Kesha. She got messed up by her manager like Rihanna.
Why you coming at Kesha?
Why have you guys not stopped me yet?
I want to see how long you go.
Yeah, low key, I'm trying to see what happens.
Setting me up for failure. I thought you were my guys. I thought you were my friends. Allow me to get sued. You let me keep going. Stop the beat, Justin. Hey, I just want to say this is a pro Kesha show. Yes, sir. We are in all support of the revitalization of Kesha's career. And actually, I'm going to take this opportunity to personally, as Northside Plug, invite Kesha onto the show.
Hell yeah.
To help revitalize her career. Kesha, if you are listening to this is an open invitation to have you on our show.
Exactly. 2020.
2020, we need these big artists.
Tell them how they can contact you.
You can contact us, Northside Plug, on Instagram, Facebook. You can email us at northsideplug@gmail.com. You can call here at 312-985-7834. Call Q4 Radio. Again, thank you every week, every day, every second to Q4 for the amazing opportunities that we have here. Before we go, can you turn down the music just a little bit, broski? Before we dip out, I want to give Ox the floor. Is there anything else that you wanted to put out there, get out there?
Yeah, tape coming real soon, I promise, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
I bet, man. Definitely. Where can the people find you?
Instagram, OceanOx, spelled how it's pronounced. SoundCloud, Gmail, 773-964-9122. Text me, call me.
Ooh, ladies, you got the number right there. You got all 10 digits.
He didn't even have to guess about
Not
that
one,
last
not
one.
two, not three, all 10, baby.
Oh, 10.
OceanOx.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say thank you again, brother, for coming on. It's been a pleasure, man.
Always, brother.
Hopefully
Thank
this
you for coming on, brother.
sparks a big movement. You feel me? Whatever's gonna happen. So just really excited. Really happy that we got this going, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Definitely, man.
Sure.
Anybody else? Last words? We good.
That's
Gucci,
it. We
rock
good.
We're on the basketball season. I'm done with football.
And next week
That's
we'll
all I
have
gotta say.
more basketball.
Definitely. The All-Star game is coming up real soon here in our lovely city of Chicago.
Chi-town,
Super
baby.
exciting.
We're gonna have our own dunk contest in
D-Rose.
studio.
Oh.
D Rose will be participating in the skills challenge. So,
for real?
so yeah, he said he's gonna be in the skills challenge.
I think
so.
we should trade I think we should trade Lori, Thaddeus, a draft pick, and one of our rookies for Drummond and Rose.
Wait.
Drummond and Rose? I would be down for that.
That would be
We get
decent.
both? Yeah,
that would
for
be
sure.
decent. Hell yeah.
That's a my 2K.
Trade Kobe. Trade
That's a
Kobe
two.
White.
We'll talk about it more next week, folks.
Thank
Y'all
you,
have
everybody.
A good night.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
If you missed this live on air episode of Northside Plug on Q4 Radio, you can check it out on our YouTube page at Northside Plug. Look it up, subscribe, tune in. Shout out to Ox again. We're gonna stay in tune. As we say with everybody, you're part of the family, brother. So
Appreciate it.
definitely stay in tune with us, man. And y'all have a good night. See you next week on
Love you
Thursday.
guys. Love you guys. Thank
Woo!
you.
Northside Plug 2020.